Hello everybody, welcome to another What I Eat in a Day as a Fat Person video. As we like to do in these videos, please put your guesses of what you think these people are going to eat down in the comments below. And my guess is probably going to be somebody adding an extortionate amount of sauce to some already unhealthy food, like a fast food burger. Apparently that's really quite common. So we're going to see, and we're going to start with this young lady. And her video is muted due to the music that she's playing, and it says What I Eat in a Day as a Fat Girl Part 29. Little Caesars 3 meat pizza at 4 p.m. and her eating times are a bit odd because she works night shift. This food looks disgusting, and she's also added some over roasted wings, so she's got some super greasy fatty pizza with some wings, and she might mean oven roasted, I don't know, but these don't look actually that bad. Like, the chicken wings seem perfectly fine. They're probably oily, they do look a little bit oily, but that can be forgiven due to the fact that they are going to be incredibly high in protein, probably a little bit high in fat as well, because you can see like the chicken skin and stuff, but in the grand scheme of things that doesn't really matter. But when you're adding it to this isn't good. I do wonder if she shows how much she actually ate of the pizza, because wait, when she's shaking that, you can see like the liquid at the bottom as well. So she's having some ranch as well, where there's the sauce on the fast food. I can't imagine this makes her feel good when she's going to work, especially at night as well, and the sauce on her face is quite grim. It's just poor table manners, and I know she's not eating at a table, which is something as well, but she is eating on camera, so you'd think that she would try not to get it all over her face, but that's neither here nor there. Superior, so she's having some Sprite, and it's 140 calories per serving, I imagine, so this is going to be a full sugar Sprite. And if she has more than a serving, which based on the fact that this is 2 litres, I would assume that she does. Again, that's not a very good thing to have at all in general, but especially before work and at night time as well. And the fact that this is the first thing that she's eaten and drank, not having water isn't ideal. And that's a massive cup of Sprite as well. She's still going with the pizza. This must sit so heavily and disgustingly in her stomach, especially if she's like walking around in that. And then after that, she's had a meat lover's burrito at 1 o'clock in the morning. Look at the grease and the fat on it. This looks like raw chicken, but I imagine it's bacon. I don't know. They've got egg in there, which is good, but it's just saturated in oil from the whatever this is. Oh, I don't know. She never eats any vegetables at all. Everything she eats is just ultra processed, high fat, high sugar, high carb. She doesn't eat any vegetables, and she doesn't eat anything proper. She never eats any real food. It's all just takeout and trash. Oof. Hot sauce. Some other kind of sauce. Oof. Yeah, she never eats anything good, and she must feel like garbage. But if you do want to have something like a burrito, you can have a burrito by all means, or like a wrap of any kind. There's nothing wrong with that whatsoever. But it's just the quality of the ingredients that you put inside it. So she likes meat, which is fine. Meat is really good for you. But instead of having this ultra processed whatever it is, she could have maybe some lean ground mince with some like tomato sauce or passata through it with some spices, and maybe, or instead of that, she could have some really high quality sausages, some bacon that she cooks up, eggs, which she's got of course, and just have it. That's, if you make it at home, it's going to taste nicer, it's not going to be as saturated in oil, and you can have some veggies as well. So if you put some carrots or broccoli or peas or sweet corn, whatever veggies that you like, in with this burrito, not only would it be tastier and better for you, but it would be more filling as well. And because she's eating this at 1 o'clock in the morning, she does have to be mindful of digestion, but I can't imagine this is going to be good for her digestion if she's eating it right before bed, because this is hard to digest any time of the day, let alone when you're about to go to sleep. So she would have been better having something different, something probably a little bit lighter. Maybe just have the scrambled egg with some sausages or black pudding if you guys have black pudding in the US. Or some bacon, maybe with some roasted veggies or some fried tomatoes or something on the side, because you can have fried foods, but you just don't have to have it deep fried and completely saturated in oil, because 1 tablespoon of oil is, I think, over 100 calories. It adds up so fast, and you could cook eggs in like butter or something instead. So there are options. You just don't have to eat like this, especially if you're doing night shift. Yeah, I'm not surprised she's a big girl. She just eats pure garbage all day. A Capri Sun, that's just straight sugar. Good night feed base, 3 o'clock in the morning. So she had a little bit of time to digest, but she probably had some snacks between her 1 o'clock burrito and her 3 a.m. bedtime. So yeah, no real food whatsoever, absolutely nothing to nourish her body. And if you're working night shift, you definitely need to focus a lot more on nutrition, because night shift affects your body negatively anyway. So yeah, terrible choices, and could have been made a lot better. For example, with the chicken wings, you could probably keep the chicken wings, reduce the oil content, reduce the ranch, only have 1 packet instead of 2, and make a homemade pizza, or only have a quarter of it. You don't need an entire pizza, that's just unnecessary. So this is our next lady, and next person, and the video is muted due to the music. And let's see what they're eating.
What I eat in a day as a plus-sized, non-binary person. Bread with jam.
That jam looks very anemic. There's no... You can't see any fruit or anything in it. It's just... Maybe this is like a strawberry, maybe? It doesn't look very nice. It just looks like pure sugar. And there's nothing inherently wrong with jam. I quite like jam, and I like to make jam at home. So I've got a lot of plum jam at home at the moment. And if you are going to have jam on toast or something, there is nothing wrong with it, but these are big pieces of toast or bread. They're both big pieces of bread, so you only need one. And in addition to this, you could have some fruit on the side instead of the second slice. That would reduce the calories and make it more filling as well, because you can have a really high volume of fruit and not have too many calories depending on the fruit. So you could have berries or something like that. In addition, you could also have some eggs. So what she could do, instead of having just the bread and the jam, they could have this piece with the jam, and then on this one you could have like smashed avocado with some eggs, or eggs and bacon, or something like that to add the protein back into the meal. Or even what I would rather do, and I think would be better, would be to cut this in half, because this is so much jam. The amount of calories and sugar in this is going to be crazy. And in a lot of jams that you see, the sugar content can be 40 to 50% of the actual product, because that's what makes it stable. So this is just sugar and empty carbs. It is not a very good way to start your morning at all.
An apple.
It's good that she's got some fruit. And I do wonder how many calories are in this. I assume it's not horrendous, probably 100 at max. So that's not that bad, and the apple is really good. So at least she's got some real fruit in there.
Chicken wrap.
That looks kind of weird, and it's clearly some kind of takeout thing. They'd be better off making it at home, so you can control what is in there. You can control the quality of the chicken, the amount of veggies and other vitamins and stuff like that in there, and also the sauces, because this looks like cheese. I could be wrong, I don't know what it is, but the fact that this wrap is green does seem to imply that they are trying to be a little bit healthier, making some good choices, because it does add to the vitamins in there. Not much, but it is an addition, so that is good. But I would like to see the inside of it. Let's see if she shows
some candy.
They didn't show us the inside, which is a shame. And having sweets. after lunch is unnecessary. Sweets are a dessert. Have them at the end of the day. And they also didn't show how many sweets they had, so that's not ideal. This meal, spring rolls, potato wedges and broccoli, carbs and cubs, and not much broccoli. So instead they could have either spring rolls or wedges. Have one or the other, you don't need 2 carbs. Probably double the amount of broccoli, or if you don't want that much, have a different vegetable as well. So you have broccoli and peas, or broccoli and sweet corn, something like that. Or you could have carrots as well, just anything just in addition to the broccoli. And then instead of having both carbs, have one and add a protein source, whether that's tofu, chicken, bacon, black pudding, whatever you like, just to make it more rounded, because this is incredibly carb heavy. So it's not the most unhealthy thing that we've seen, and it's good that they're cooking at home, but it could be improved and it would probably make them feel a lot better, for less calories, and they would feel more full as well.
Spring rolls, potato wedges, and broccoli.
Overall, their day wasn't actually that bad, depending on how many sweets they had. I would assume that they didn't actually show everything that they ate, as I tend to say in these videos. But overall, it wasn't actually that bad. They didn't go crazy on the takeout and have 3 or 4 meals of takeout a day, so that's good. But yeah, moving on, we've got another young lady, and she says what a fat girl eats in America, and her voice is in the video, and she has been her voice has been isolated due to the music she listens
in a day, Florida edition. Guys, I woke up this morning absolutely starving, so I decided to have some apple because I need to get one of them 5 a day in, you know what I mean?
I'm going to assume she actually had the whole apple and not just one piece. So we're going to start the day with an apple, which isn't bad, but then we've gone downhill very quick.
And obviously I'm in America.
Look at the size of that cup. I truly don't think you would get a drink this big. Like in England, I just don't think it exists here. And I don't even know if we have Dunkin' Donuts. Do we have Dunkin' Donuts? I don't know, maybe.
And everyone runs on Dunkin' here, so I have to start the day off with one of them. I got a pumpkin spice latte, iced, obviously, and I
pumpkin spiced ice latte. I would assume it would have 50 grams of sugar in it, because once I used to really enjoy pumpkin spice lattes from Starbucks years and years ago, and then I discovered they had about 50 grams of sugar in, and I never had one ever again. So starting your day off with sugar is not the way, as we like to say here. So just because everybody else is doing it doesn't mean you have to as well. If it is a one-off treat, fine, there's nothing wrong with that. And she is obviously an English person, so she is in America. I don't know if she's living there or visiting or whatever. But if you are visiting a country and you want to try their food and it's not the healthiest, that's fine. It doesn't matter, because you will go home and you can return to your normal diet. Or you can have your unhealthy thing at one point of the day, but the rest of your day is fairly controlled. There's nothing wrong with that. But I can't see that she is going to be in moderation for her sugar. And I would assume these are donuts.
I live in Canada, if you don't know, and we
for breakfast. And she's in Canada, she's not in America. Apologies for that. Wait, what did she say? She says she's in America.
obviously, and I live in Canada, if you don't know, and we have Timbits, but in America they have Munchkins, and they're like,
Okay, so she is English, she's living in Canada, she's currently visiting America. Okay. Donuts for breakfast. That's just something else, isn't it? I see a lot of people, generally Americans, but people in America seem to have donuts for breakfast. That's crazy. Why are you eating empty carbs and sugar for breakfast? You shouldn't be doing that. It's going to spike your blood pressure, your blood sugar, and then crash it, and you're going to be starving very soon. It's just does nothing for your body whatsoever. Eat something substantial for breakfast. And if you want donuts, have them at the end of the day. Don't have them for breakfast. That's crazy.
the inside of the donut bits, absolutely banging. Guys, I ate 4.5 of these. 4.5 because I did drop one on the floor. And today we're heading to the beach. I love Florida beaches, white sand. I know there was just a hurricane here, so the sea is a bit murky right now.
4.5 donut bites for breakfast is wild. If you want to have donuts for breakfast, by all means do it. It's a bad decision, but you can do it. But have it with something else that will kind of control your blood sugar. Maybe have it with a lot of protein or some healthy fats if you have some eggs or something. And I know I say eggs a lot, it's just because they're such a superfood. But pair it with some real food and they won't affect you as badly. But I imagine her next meal is some form of takeout, just because of how she's eaten so far.
But it's still beautiful and warm. And oh my god, we found this stunning shell on the beach and we picked it up and there was literally a scallop inside it. I didn't eat it, guys. I can restrain myself, all right? Instead, we went to 7-Eleven to get lunch and didn't
Brilliant.
eat lunch off of the literal shore. I'm no stranger to a 7-Eleven taquito, okay? But in America, they have so many more different flavours. I literally never seen a breakfast one before. And
It's just oil and grease and fat. I don't know how they eat like this. It just astonishes me. She's eaten no real food except the apple so far. And then she's gone completely off the rails. And she was in a convenience store. You cannot tell me that in this store they didn't have a single healthy thing. It's a store. Of course they did. So why not buy something healthy or healthier than a slice of greasy pizza and the fried things?
I literally never seen a breakfast one before. And I've never tried the 7-Eleven pizza, but guess what? There was a nice big hair on it, added some extra flavour. I still tried it. Is that gross of me? I don't know, but I wanted to give you
Kind of.
your review. And guess what? I didn't really like it because I tried a bit of the sausage. Look, oh my god, the sausage was so weird. I don't like American sausage, guys. Got a bit of a funny flavour. And then the taquito.
I wouldn't be shocked if the flavour difference between sausages in the US and the sausages in either Canada or the UK is different due to the processing differences. I know a lot of American food is illegal in the EU just due to how it is produced and the ingredients. So it wouldn't surprise me if that had something to do with it. Of course, I could be wrong, but it wouldn't surprise me. And it's not going to be high quality sausages if it's in a 7-Eleven. So it's going to be cheap garbage on a cheap garbage greasy pizza. I'm not surprised that she didn't like it. But hopefully she didn't continue to eat it because she didn't like it. And this is just more beige. Just grease, fat and carbs.
I had the Philly cheesesteak one. Never had one of these before. Banging. Home and had some flaming hot puffs. And for dinner, a little cheeky Chipotle. I can't really remember what I got in my Chipotle bowl. I know it was rice, black beans, chicken, loads of...
If you're going to have crisps or chips, weigh out your portion, especially if you've got a sharing bag, because as this young lady's doing, you can just eat them out of the bag and you're going to be eating way over a portion. So you could probably be eating 400 calories of chips and not even realise what you're doing. And a portion is a portion for a reason. You don't need more than that. So do try and control yourself around things like this. By all means have it in moderation. There's nothing wrong with that, as I've said. But don't just eat out of a sharing bag. You're going to end up eating the whole thing and then you're going to feel really bad.
Jalapenos, sour...
And more takeout. She doesn't seem to cook anything. And look at all this. The calories in this is going to be crazy. But other than that, the rest of it doesn't actually look too bad. It's got rice, and there's nothing wrong with rice, and loads of veggies, which is really, really good. So this is probably the best thing that she's eaten all day, besides the apple this morning. So it's not inherently awful. And hopefully she has some grilled chicken or something in there for some protein. But if not, if it is just veggies and rice, again, it's not that bad. Especially given that the day she's had, she doesn't need any more grease and oil. It does seem like she's got some cheese there though, which isn't great, but it's better than some of her other choices, let's just say it like that.
Cream and salsa, obviously. Oh my god, this made this super spicy, but today was gorge. That's all it today. If you like this video, follow me for more.
She says that's all it, as if it was a normal amount of food. It was so much. So this one has also been audio controlled, isolated. So let's see what this person's doing. What I ate today is a fat girl who eats intuitively. You think it's a coincidence that our paths should cross? Okay, so it's some kind of Halloween edition.
Here's everything I ate today as a fat girl who eats intuitively. Guys, Halloween in this country is mad because how was that someone's back garden? Anyway, for breakfast.
This is another English person. I imagine they're in America. But as I said in the previous video, or one of the previous videos, intuitive eating can work so long as you are in tune with your hunger cues and fullness cues, and a lot of obese people are not. One, because they don't listen to them because they're obese, and secondly, because a lot of the food they eat is ultra processed. And when you're eating ultra processed food, that interferes with your hunger and fullness cues and completely skews them, which is how you're able to continue to eat past what a normal portion is. So if you are super morbidly obese, it will take time to learn how to listen to your cues again. It can be done. I learned how to re-listen to my body in terms of food and eating and all that kind of stuff. It takes some time. It can be done. But initially, you can't just jump straight into it, in my opinion. Of course, you can try, and you're more than welcome to. I can't stop you, and I wouldn't even try to anyway. But just be mindful that your signals may not be working quite right, and that is why these people are as big as they are.
So I got a salmon and cream cheese bagel,
and that's exactly what we're talking about. You don't need a salmon and cream cheese bagel. There are much worse things. The salmon's really good. Cream cheese is an okay source of protein depending on the quality of it. But there are better things to eat.
Chive.
That's thick as well. It does look tasty, don't get me wrong. It does look really nice. But this is another person that has some kind of takeout or ordered food for breakfast.
Flavoured. It was an everything bagel, and then I added rocket, or arugula as they say in the US.
So it does look like a lot of cream cheese. It's not as much as I've seen in some American bagels. Salmon is a bit thin, especially on this side, and it's got a nice amount of rocket in there, which is good. To improve on this, you could have probably twice the amount of salmon, or a more varietied selection of veggies. Maybe add some carrots or tomato or something in there would be a bit nicer. And maybe don't fill up the bagel hole with cream cheese. That's not necessary, in my opinion.
Arugula. It's so fun. I feel like it's going to become a vocal stim for me. Anyway, the bagel was delicious. I have absolutely no notes, and I want to go back every single day. Okay, anyway, then I had a...
Is this for breakfast? You don't need a donut for breakfast. What is it with Americans doing that? You don't need donuts at breakfast.
matcha cream puff.
Especially one that's got sugar smashed in the middle of it. That's just crazy. It's a dessert. Have it for dessert. You can still have this sort of food, but have it at the appropriate time and in the appropriate portions. This is what I was saying about intuitive eating. You can't... These people intuitively eat donuts for breakfast. It doesn't... That is... It's so difficult to express myself like this. It's... Your body tells you that you want a donut because you're addicted to the food that you're eating. You're addicted to the ultra-processed foods, the fat and the sugar and the carbs. That is what they're addicted to. So that's what they want. It's not an intuitive eating in the form of what it should be. That is, if you're hungry, you eat food that is good and nutritious for you. So you're hungry, so you have an apple. Your hunger isn't gone, so you then have to decide, okay, am I hungry enough for an actual meal? Do I need a meal, or do I need another snack? What am I going to go for? And if you need a meal, you find something that is actually going to work for you. So you have something like a lean protein with an appropriate amount of carbs for the rest of your day, and a lot of veggies. That's what it is supposed to be. It's not supposed to be, I have a craving for a donut, so I'm going to eat a donut. Oh, now I've got a craving for a bar of chocolate, so I'm going to have a bar of chocolate, and not have any fruits and vegetables. That's not what it is supposed to be. It's not supposed to be listening to every single craving that you have and give into it. So you eat 5,000 calories of sugar and carbs and fat. It's supposed to be you nourishing your body and listening to your hunger signals and your fullness cues, and actually listening to your body and what it actually needs. Nobody's body needs a donut, especially one filled with cream. It's probably 500 calories.
Never had a cream puff before, didn't really understand what it was, but 1010 would recommend. Apparently they do vanilla and chocolate as well, but the only ones they have left on that.
So sickly. And chips, again, intuitively eating chips.
And I'm okay with that. Then I had some of my fave chips from Trader
Straight out of the sharing bag, not portioned out.
Joe's, and then I went for pizza.
The tomatoes on pizza don't really count because look at the grease. You can see it pooling here, the oil on the pizza. You can see it pooling and you can see that it's shiny. This isn't any good for you at all. Now, there's no harm in having pizza, as I have said before. Have it in moderation. But when you're having pizza on a day where you've had a cream cheese bagel and a donut for breakfast and then a bag of sharing crisps, that's ridiculous and unnecessary.
Pizza was called Grandma's Pie. Don't know why, but it was delicious. Okay, bye.
I don't believe that's all she ate. I just don't. And if you are going to have a pizza, again, nothing wrong with it, but have it with a side of something that's going to fill you up and be good for you. Roasted veggies, fruit, I was going to say rice. Roasted veggies, raw veggies with some hummus, something like that. Something that is going to fill you up and be good for you, and actually do your body some good as well. Your body needs nutrition, and it's not getting any nutrition out of pizza that is swimming in oil. She doesn't show how much of this she ate either. She shows one slice, but I don't believe she only ate one slice, because there are two pizzas here. There's this one and that one. So did she have this pizza and this pizza, or did she have half of this one and half of that one? Because this one is worse. It seems to have some kind of shaved meat on it. It's not going to be a very high quality meat. And again, fat, grease, carbs, and oil. Just a terrible choice. Not a single vegetable in sight other than the greasy tomato. Just such terrible choices. Just a day of eating garbage. They do have some nice looking bagels, I'm not going to lie. And the bread rolls look really good. These ones, I think, have got cheese on them. These ones look like they're blueberry. I like the seeded ones. Seeded ones are really nice. I'm just seeing what else they have in here. So they've got hard-boiled eggs. $1.69 for a hard-boiled egg is nuts. I'm not gonna lie. But they clearly do have some other options, and they've got some things up here as well. So you didn't... There were things available that you could have had other than a donut for breakfast, then chips, and then greased pizza. And because you are in America, there are just so many options available. You don't have to eat garbage. So it is quite frustrating to see these people who have got everything available to them just choosing the absolute worst choices all the time. But again, she is a tourist by the sounds of things. She sounds like an English person, and she is in America, so she could just be on holiday and enjoying her holiday food, which is fine. As I said, nothing wrong with that. But do be mindful. You don't want to gain 10 pounds on holiday if you're only there for a week, and that can very easily be done. So you still have to be mindful. There's nothing wrong with enjoying yourself, but you still have to be mindful. Your health doesn't care that you're on holiday. Neither does your kidneys or your liver, nor your digestion or your stomach, and you'll feel sick if you go absolutely hog wild on holiday. But yeah, it's their choice at the end of the day, so they can do what they want. But anyway, that's enough for this video. Thank you for watching. Please let me know what you liked down in the comments, and if you just didn't like it, also let me know down in the comments so I can see if I can improve. But yeah, thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye guys.